the point. That's where it's at right there.
That's where it's at.
And that's why I like the point, because you got more fat.
Yeah.
That's where all your flavor is. So what we got here is, this was a no-roll ribeye, and we paid about $5.40 a pound for, and then we dry aged it for 45 days. Sous vide it at 135 for about 2.5 hours. After I did salt, pepper, and garlic powder, and now we're just searing it on all sides, and then I'm gonna baste it with some rosemary and butter after we get it seared. Do it about medium-high heat for about 1 minute on each side, including the edges.
So what are you doing right now?
I'm basting this with rosemary and butter. I'm using Kerrygold butter, but you can use the butter of your choice. Benefit of Kerrygold. And it's got better fats, it's grass-fed, so you don't have as many saturated fat. Got some polyunsaturated fats in there. We're done.
How is it?
It's good.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
And so now it tastes like choice, or even maybe prime.
Yeah.
It's good.
It's
though.
way more tender.
It's tender and it's very good. And that's either due to, because you sous vide that, didn't you?
Yep.
Yeah. See, that's the power of sous vide too. That's good stuff.
So
Try
this
it.
is from Snake River Farms. This was a 17-pound American Wagyu brisket that we got in, and I dry aged it with a umai bag for 39 days. I was planning on 35, but we had to go a little bit longer because I was working. And then I smoked it. I did it for 250 for about 4 hours, and then I decreased it to 225 for the last 5 hours or so. Then I put it in the oven for another hour and a half at about 250. So salt, pepper, celery seed, and mustard as a binder is all I used for the seasoning. So we'll cut into this bad boy and see what we got.
Is that the original?
So this is the original, just regular, non-dry aged American Wagyu that we got at the same time. We're going to try both of these side by side and see how they compare.
Alright.
It's so tender I can't cut it. It's
just falling
apart.
Look at that.
Oh man. I was worried about it not being tender enough, but it's actually,
Is it tender enough,
whew,
Dr. Baird?
it's too tender.
Yeah.
It's too tender.
Too tender.
If that's a thing. It's just,
That's the difference dry age makes.
I mean, you can't hardly pick it up.
Yeah.
What I will say is, this American Wagyu here, this regular non-dry aged American Wagyu is so good. This is good, but you lose about half of the mass of the brisket whenever you dry age it. To me, I don't know that it's worth
Worth the
all
process.
the trouble and losing that much of the meat. It's
Yeah.
definitely way more tender. A little bit of a different cook than the other one though. It wasn't cooked as long. I also didn't dry brine it with salt, so the salt didn't penetrate. I can tell that the salt didn't penetrate into the middle of it. It's more concentrated around the crust.
Yeah.
But it's still very good. Let me see what this one. Okay. point is fantastic.
Yeah.
The point, that's where it's at right there.
Where it's at.
And that's why I like the point, because you got more fat.
Yeah.
That's where all your flavor is. Man, it's good.
Well, Brian, you did a great job on the meat. It was excellent. A little dry aged
American Wagyu.
American Wagyu, yep. It was excellent. Fantastic. So this is a new little kind of from time to time series that we're going to do, meat, medicine, and markets. And we're going to talk a little bit about the meat. We've already done that, and kind of you saw that in the intro to the video. But we'll talk about just things that are going on in the medical world and in the markets. And so, Brian, just what's going on? You know, we've got a resurgence here in the COVID-19 situation. Lots of cases in California, Texas, Florida, mainly three big areas that have been affected. But Arkansas is no exception to that. So, what are some things we need to be thinking about?
Well, I mean, I think people need to probably take this a little bit more seriously than what we have been lately. It seems like, I mean, and understandably so, everybody's tired of being cooped up in their house and are ready to get back out and go back to work and get around people again like we used to be. And it looks like as those things have eased up and we've started going back to normal, we definitely are seeing spikes in cases. Now, hopefully this is going to be more of, you know, the younger group of people that are going to be getting it, the lower risk people, and hopefully we'll have, you know, lower death rates among the people that are getting it, and maybe this will end up giving us, you know, some type of a herd immunity. But I still think that we still need to be very careful about, you know, taking this seriously and not overwhelming the medical system, because it can happen just like it happened in Italy. It can happen anywhere. I mean, New York got pretty close to overwhelming their medical system, and it can happen in other places as well.
Well, like in LA County, there's as many cases in LA County, California, almost as there are in Florida, in the entire state of Florida. Right. So, you know, very possible that
very densely populated areas are the ones that are definitely going to be hit harder. And I think what we'll see in the more rural areas like Arkansas is we'll have more of a very slow and steady increase, and we'll probably stay fairly flat compared to other areas, and it'll be a very gradual and slow decrease after that. Yeah. But people still need to take it seriously, try to social distance as much as possible, wear your mask out in public, or if you're going to be in large groups of people, wash your hands frequently, just kind of the general same stuff that we've been recommending, but it's even more important now since we're starting to see the cases spike up again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you're saying the CO2 can get out of the mask?
CO2 can get out. It does not get trapped in the mask. Yeah, right. I mean, you have a less than 1% of the air that you breathe in that maybe get temporarily trapped inside the mask. As soon as you start breathing in, that's gone.
Yeah, you suck in regular air.
We actually are going to have a video coming out from Cabot Emergency Hospital where I did a blood gas without a mask, blood gas with a mask, and the results were identical.
Yeah.
So we had a good solid 10 minutes with the mask on, and I mean, oxygen level was identical.
What's the like? So I mean, if you know, I know a lot of people are skeptical of masks, and you know, nobody. Well, I'll speak for me and you. I think that we wouldn't mandate it from a government perspective, but you know, at the same time, there are cases where it would be helpful to wear a mask. Like if you go into an enclosed area, you know.
Yeah. I mean, if you're going to be out in public and large gatherings, you're going to be in close quarters with people. It is not dangerous to wear a mask. It might help prevent asymptomatic people, especially from spreading it, because I mean, people that are coughing and you know have fever, they're hopefully going to have the common sense to isolate themselves from other people and self quarantine. But people that are asymptomatic, that's going to be one of the things that's going to lead to a lot of spread is people that are asymptomatic spreading, because we really don't have much of an idea of how many people are asymptomatic with this. I mean, it could be a huge portion of people that have this disease that are spreading it to people without ever even knowing it.
Right.
And so wearing a mask, it's not perfect. It's not gonna totally stop you from being able to spread it, but definitely will stop you from, if you cough or if you're talking or if you sneeze or anything, it'll stop those large droplets from being sprayed out into the atmosphere, into the wherever you're at, and other people won't be exposed to that. So, I mean, there's no question that it's going to decrease the chance of you spreading it.
I mean, one study I saw showed it reduced the chances of spread from 17% down to 3%, which is about an 80% reduction in spread.
Absolutely.
So and that's the kind of thing you have
not
to do.
Perfect.
If you do a whole bunch of those mitigating steps,
right, exactly.
You're going to slow the spread and you're going to help achieve herd immunity among the people that are moving, right? Which is really what you need to do.
That's what we need.
So because that's where we got to be. I mean, the vaccine's not coming in the next 6 months. I mean, we have to deal with this at least. The earliest vaccine is late winter, maybe.
Maybe
that's best.
Maybe it's probably going to be more like a year from now. I mean,
so
best case scenario maybe by early 2021, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, right. And then as far as markets are reacting to this new news, and it's not like totally unexpected. For some people, maybe it was, but I mean, it's not too surprising that something like this is happening with the markets. We're realizing. I think there was a lot of hopeful exuberance in the market, and now with the kind of the reality crashing in on us that hey, this isn't over. It's not going to just magically disappear. This is something that we're going to be dealing with for the next for a while at least, and. Markets are crashing again, which is why, again, the thing to do is not to panic. It's not to sell everything, but to be reasonable and to stick to the plan. If your targets for your assets as far as your fixed income and your equities are 60-40, stay there. I'm not, we shouldn't vary from our targets very much because that's just not a good strategy to do, especially when there's a lot of volatility in the market.
Sure.
So sticking with your plan, sticking to it, and staying disciplined, not panic selling, not panic buying, none of that. Just kind of stick with the plan. I think that's the way to do it.
And we'll get through this. I mean, this this is
we're already adjusting.
Another bump in the road, and it. At least it seems to be at this point that a lot of the cases that are spiking right now are in younger people that have been going out more and taking it less seriously, which the unintended consequence of that may be that it ends up giving us some level of herd immunity. And so, I mean, we may actually turn out better, after this is all over with, if a lot of the young people get it and recover from it, then that may end up being protective for higher risk folks, and so that's the goal all along, is to protect the high risk people. And so that doesn't mean everybody that's young and healthy should go out and try and get COVID-19.
Have like a COVID-19 party where everybody gets sick.
Let's not do that.
Chickenpox party. Exactly.
But at the same time, I mean, the unintended consequence may end up working to our favor. But we'll see.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Well, good deal. Well, thank y'all for joining with us to do this. Brisket was fantastic, and even better company. So hope you guys enjoyed this, and we'll catch you guys next time on Meat, Medicine, and Markets.